Thank you for waking up with Good Day Columbus on ABC6, Central Ohio's #1 most watched choice for local news.
The hit came from the back, and it came all the way up through the back, and there was immediate flames from the truck in the back.
Horror on the highway. A bus carrying high school band members involved in a fiery wreck, killing 6 people.
One of the darkest days in our district's history and the worst day in my life.
Devastation in the Tusky Valley community, the tight-knit district joining together to mourn and support. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us here on this November 15th. I'm Jessica Ralston.
And I'm Kurt Ludlow. This morning we're on your side helping track this tragedy which killed 6 people and injured 18 more. This morning we have live team coverage. Jackie Orozco is live outside of Tusky Valley High School, where a community dealing with an unimaginable tragedy is coming together. And Mike McCarthy is in Licking County, near where that accident happened, as investigators are working to figure out what started it. We're going to begin with Mike with the latest in the investigation. Mike.
Kurt, today the investigation here in Licking County turns to the federal government as the National Transportation Safety Board is expected to have a team later today out here on this now reopened Foley Highway to get its first look at the site of this crash. This morning we are getting a new perspective on the aftermath of that wreck, but a warning this morning as well that does come with some video that may be too graphic for some viewers. Bystanders recorded the fire that spread so fast after this collision on the highway yesterday morning that involved that tour bus carrying those band members and chaperones from Tusky Valley High School, one of 5 vehicles that became involved in this wreck. The band was headed to a performance that was scheduled yesterday in Columbus. The NTSB says there's confusion about the chain of events as they played out on the highway, but they do say traffic here in this area had slowed towards the end of rush hour because of an earlier crash further up the road. Student Samantha Bosler described during a phone call what she experienced on that bus as the semi and the bus collided.
The hit came from the back, and it came all the way up through the back, and there was immediate flames from the truck in the back.
Samantha also went on to describe students frantically climbing over seats to get out. The Tusky Valley School District now says 3 students on that bus died. So did 2 parents and a teacher who were following in a car that also crashed and burned. Among the injured were 15 more students who were taken to hospitals, and this morning we are continuing to follow their recoveries as well. As we do that here in Licking County and monitor their recovery at various Columbus hospitals, we are also keeping an eye on the community up there in Tusky Valley as they are preparing for a very emotional and surely difficult day. Jackie Orozco joins us live there at the high school with a new message from the superintendent, Jackie, as they prepare for a day of classes.
Yeah, that message is just supporting, the staff and students here 100%. We have been seeing some movement because they said that today classes will resume. You can see behind me, there's plenty of school buses right there. We've been seeing some staff members arriving as well, and we're told that there will be grief counselors and crisis teams available for students and staff today. The superintendent releasing a statement last night saying that the, quote, Trojan family is strong and it will take that strength and love to get throughout these coming challenging days. Now take a look at the amount of people who showed up to last night's vigil at the Tusky Valley High School football field. Now within an hour of announcing that there was going to be a vigil, hundreds of students, families, and community members showed up to support the Trojan family.
So our doors will be open. It will not be a typical school day.
In Tusky Valley, even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death this evening, I'm encouraged that you've come to love on each other.
Again, heartbreak for a lot of these families who live out here because 6 people were killed, including 3 students. Again, it's unclear if classes will be dismissed early, but we are told that it's going to be a regular school day. At this point, we have contacted school officials trying to get more information, but again, that their main focus this morning is just supporting these students and staff as they try to get through the day. So for now, we'll be reporting here throughout the morning here in East Ohio. Jackie Orozco, Good Day Columbus.
Today, the official National Transportation Safety Board investigation into what caused this crash begins. We know they sent 16 members to Columbus, including 9 investigators and 2 members of the Transportation Disaster Team.
They say a final report on cases like this could take a year to a year and a half, but a preliminary report should be released within 5 to 7 days once the NTSB investigators leave the scene.
What we're doing on scene is collecting the perishable evidence. We're looking for cameras that may have been in motor vehicles or the motor coach. We'll want to look at, determine what the sequence of the event was.
The NTSB is hoping to have another briefing with more findings today at 4.
We've also learned the company the district used for the charter bus was Pioneer Trails, which is based out of Millersburg. That's about 45 minutes west of Tusky Valley High School. In a Facebook statement, they confirmed it was one of their buses involved and said they are fully cooperating with the investigation. They add their thoughts and prayers go out to those involved and that they have no further comment as it's an ongoing investigation. Much more coverage of this tragedy can be found online. You can get up-to-the-minute details with the free ABC6 app. Katie?
All right, and as we were talking about, this area is back open as of last night around 11 p.m. So just keep in mind that if you're traveling out to the east where this horrific crash happened in those 70 westbound lanes that were shut down for quite some time, it is back open, traffic moving nicely. We did get word from ODOT that they did have to repave a portion of the roadway because of damages from just how hot the fire was involved in that crash. And then they eventually will have crews out there that are putting down the permanent lines. So you may see crews at some point throughout the day, but as of right now, as we are working our way into the 6 o'clock hour, things out there are moving nicely and we don't have anyone working on the roadways right now. Everything moving in towards downtown Columbus, doing so with ease. We are seeing that everything is pretty calm out there. We don't have any conditions that you're going to be fighting as you're working your way out. No rain. Everything is looking good out there on those roads. We've got 70 at Wilson Road starting to pick up just a little bit on the west side. Over on the east side, 70 at James Road. Not a lot of traffic. Things are still very light as we are working our way into this hour.
All right, thanks, Katie. As you're heading out the door, taking a quick look at downtown right now. Skies are still dark, but we will be seeing that sun come up shortly with a few high clouds working their way through. 26 in Newark right now, 28 in Chillicothe, and the rest of us sitting in the mid to low 30s across a lot of the area. Again, a few passing clouds outside right now, but we're going to see mostly sunny skies by the afternoon today, and so the clouds will clear out a little bit more. 64 degrees for the high today. Our normal high for today is 52, so 12 degrees above normal. Clear and cold tonight, back to sunny skies tomorrow. However, the sunshine's not going to last forever. We're back to rain by the time that we get to Friday, so we will time that out when it arrives, when it leaves, and what your Thanksgiving week is looking like coming up.
6:14 now. We are following that tragic, horrible bus crash out of Licking County that killed 6 people on Tuesday. The bus was carrying more than 50 students, including members of the Tusky Valley High School marching band, some teachers and chaperones.
Yeah, they were all heading to Columbus to perform at the Ohio School Board Association's annual convention. Right now we know a semi rear-ended the charter bus, but we don't know much beyond that.
I saw them, they had a ladder up in one window because there's a couple people exiting from the front of the bus, and it looks like they were near the rear of the bus trying to pull a couple people off. You never know when something like this can happen.
The NTSB is in town right now and will begin their investigation into the exact cause of the accident later today after visiting the scene.
Here is a live look this morning at the Tuscarawas Valley School District. This morning we are at Tusky Valley High. Despite this horrible tragedy, the district says school will be open there today. It's not a regular school day by any means. They just want to make sure that everyone who needs to get together for support can gather there and grieve together. We're going to have a live report from the school again here in just about 15 minutes. Katie?
Yeah, I saw a statement saying that they just didn't want to have students sit at home by themselves by taking the day off. So we are seeing right now out in that area where we had that tragic accident yesterday, things are moving nicely. We're just periodically looking in. Obviously, you heard Justin Kurt mention that NTSB will be out there as they're continuing this investigation. But as of right now, crews are not on scene. Things are moving without any problems, and traffic flow is starting to pick up just a little bit in those 70 westbound lanes, not too far from 310. We do know that ODOT had to work on some repairs, which is why it took it so long to open. About 11 p.m. last night is when we officially were able to get folks moving through this area. And you will probably see crews at some point throughout the day, according to ODOT, working to put some permanent lining on the roadways from where they had to make their repairs to the pavement. As for other folks working their way in from the same area in the eastbound or westbound lanes, I should say, from the east side, you can see things are looking good here by James Road. We have steady traffic flow all the way in towards Columbus this morning, seeing a little bit of yellow, but the usual 16-minute commute from 256 on in towards downtown Columbus is doing well. Big picture showing that things are clear. We did have an earlier closure that was on 142 out here in Madison County. That was because of a train, and that was between 70 and 40. That is out of the way and officially back open this morning. So if you're going to be traveling out to the west, you're not going to have any problems in that stretch. I believe we're going to check in with Mike Kilburn now in Mobile Track to see how he's doing as he's starting things out on his Wednesday morning. Morning, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Katie. We're actually doing pretty well. No accidents, no disabled vehicles, nothing on the board to slow you down. Looks like we're doing pretty well. I'm just ready to hit the 315 north ramp going up through the campus interchanges. Traffic flow is just building up, the normal buildup that you see in the morning, and we are on dry roads. Like I said, a little bit cool temperature-wise this morning. Might want to get the vehicle warmed up before you get underway. Live and on your side in Mobile Track. I'm Mike Kilburn.
This morning, the man accused in the deadly road rage shooting along I-670 is set to be arraigned. Tony Brock facing murder charges, accused of shooting Brett Bennett from his pickup truck last Friday near the convention center. Police say Brock fired a single shot from his truck at 52-year-old Brett Bennett, who was driving another car. Bennett later died at a hospital. Also due in court today, the mom accused of driving high and crashing her car, killing one of her daughters. Chastity Bliss is facing vehicular manslaughter and child endangerment charges. Her two young daughters were in the car when it happened. Her 7-year-old died. Police say she was not properly buckled in. Bliss is being held on a $200,000 bond.
Thank you for waking up with Good Day Columbus on ABC 6, Central Ohio's #1 most watched choice for local news.
It's a dark day in our district. We are saddened to share that we lost 3 students in the accident.
This morning, the Tusky Valley community grieving after 6 members of their community, including 3 students, were killed in a bus crash near Columbus. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. It is November 15th. I'm Kurt Ludlow.
And I'm Jessica Ralston. The students were on a charter bus. They were headed to Columbus to perform at the Ohio School Board Association convention at the convention center downtown. This morning, we have team coverage as a community begins to process this horrific tragedy, and investigators work to figure out what led to that scene on I-70. We'll start now with Mike McCarthy and a look at the investigation.
Jessica, at this hour, the investigation stands in the hands of the National Transportation Safety Board. As you look behind me, the highway is fully reopened in both directions. And today, later this afternoon, in fact, we expect a team from the NTSB out here on the highway to get its first look at the site of this crash. Because of what happened here on the highway, some of the video we are including in our report this morning may be too graphic for some viewers. Bystanders did record what was a fiery aftermath to this crash that occurred yesterday morning here on I-70 in Licking County near Etna. If you look close in this video, you can see students escaping from that burning tour bus. It was filled with more than 50 people, students and chaperones from the Tuscarawas Valley High School. We know the crash involved a semi rear-ending that bus, and that led to a catastrophic fire spreading across multiple vehicles. Student Samantha Bossler was on that bus, and in a phone call she described students climbing over seats to escape and recalled the moment of impact as well.
Usually when you feel that impact, you close your eyes, and when you all realize what happened, opened our eyes again, the seats are all smashed in, it's a complete mess.
The NTSB says it's working to determine the chain of events in this crash, but we know highway traffic had slowed in the area because of an earlier crash up the road. The tour bus belongs to Pioneer Trails, and a company statement says it is fully cooperating with the investigation and praying for everyone involved. This crash also killed 2 chaperones from the high school and a teacher who were traveling in a car following that bus. And 18 more people, mostly students, were also hurt. This morning, we know at least some of them, several of those people, have been released from various hospitals in the Columbus area, and the continued recovery of everyone else who was injured is just one part of this very much developing story we are following throughout the day. Stay connected with us at abc6onyourside.com for up-to-the-minute coverage. We're live on your side in Licking County. Mike McCarthy, Good Day Columbus.
The Ohio School Board Association, where the group is going to perform, releasing a statement saying, in part,
they said that words cannot express the profound sorrow and grief they felt at the tragic loss of the students in the school bus accident. They were tragically taken far too soon. They say our hearts ache for the unimaginable pain you must be enduring right now. We share in your grief and offer our deepest condolences during this incredibly difficult time. They also pledged their support to the district with whatever the district may need.
In Tuscarawas County this morning, people there still processing a tragedy that would have felt incomprehensible just 24 short hours ago.
And the district is planning to hold classes today or have the school building open to help the students and faculty grieve together. Jackie Roscoe joining us live from Tusky Valley High School with a look at how they're handling this horrible tragedy.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Definitely a very difficult day for folks out here. We have been seeing some school buses move throughout the morning and some staff members get into the building here, but we are told that there are going to be some grief counselors and crisis teams available for anyone who just needs them. That is the #1 priority today, making sure people are getting the help that they need. Now, take a look at the amount of folks who showed up just to last night's vigil at the Tusky Valley High School football field. Just an example of the amount of love and support that there is here for the community. Within an hour of announcing that there was going to be a vigil, hundreds of students, families, and community members showed up to support their love for the Trojan family. The superintendent releasing a statement last night saying that the Trojan family is strong and it will take that strength and love to get throughout these coming challenging days. Again, heartbreak for a lot of these families who live out here because 6 people were killed, including those 3 students. Now, we've reached out to school officials this morning, just trying to get more information, just trying to see the plan for students throughout the day. And of course, once we hear back, we'll let you know. For now, reporting live here in East Ohio, Jackie Orozco, Good Day Columbus.
And much more coverage of this tragic story is on our website. You can head on over to abc6onyourside.com for current and future coverage of this developing story. Katie?
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, we are at 6:35 right now, continuing through this morning with minimal problems on the roadways. We do have a brand new accident. This is East Livingston Avenue at Lonsdale Road. So this just coming in the last couple of minutes, so be aware of that. But I want to zoom out here to the big picture, showing that we're actually doing pretty well. Starting to see a little bit of a slowdown, 70 westbound right there by Bryce Road. A little early for seeing any yellow on our map, but just something to be aware of as you're heading out. I'll tell you what, traffic looking good in both directions here. We are in fantastic shape in those 70 eastbound lanes, not too far from Mound Street. Still dealing with really light traffic there. Starting to pick up, though, a little bit over here on the east outer belt. Those 270 north and southbound lanes still moving without any major delays or concerns, but definitely seeing a little bit more traffic flow in that stretch than we have on other roadways.
All right, good morning, everybody. Taking a look outside right now. Things are pretty quiet as you are hitting the roads and just heading out the door this morning. Temps in the mid-30s. Let's reload those real quick because I wanted to add one extra graphic here. 34 degrees in Columbus right now, 26 currently out in Newark. And again, right now it's a chilly morning and a few clouds, but those clouds will be clearing out. 34 in Delaware, 26 in Newark, 26 also in Lancaster. The big view here, and I wanted to bring this back up to show you what we're watching. There's a couple of factors here. First of all, this area of high pressure. It's been keeping us dry, giving us the sunshine the last few days. And it has slowly worked its way now to the east coast. And now that we are on the backside of this high pressure, our winds are going to start coming out of the south, which means this moisture that you're seeing here is going to start getting brought up in our direction. Cold front is also going to swing through Friday. Those two are going to come together, and that cold front is just basically going to take any moisture that we're going to be slowly accumulating just in the atmosphere above us and actually wring it out into some rain on Friday. So a couple of factors going into Friday's forecast, but we will be dealing with dry weather today. As you're heading out the door, 64 degrees for the high temperature today, which is 12 degrees above normal. We're not going to stay above normal, though. We're going to be back below normal soon enough. We're going to time out your weekend and take a look at your Thanksgiving Day travel forecast across the whole region coming up.
It's 6:37. Straight ahead, lawmakers weigh in as President Biden gets ready to meet with his Chinese counterpart.
Chinese Communist Party is able to use this as a tool to manipulate America as a whole.
What we're expecting from the high-stakes meeting in San Francisco.
And as we go to break, we're looking live near the scene of that tragic bus crash in Licking County. We'll have an update in less than 10 minutes. This morning, we are continuing to track the tragedy on I-70 in Licking County. 6 people dead, 18 more hurt after a bus and a car carrying Tusky Valley High School marching band members, teachers, and chaperones was involved in an accident with a semi.
This morning, the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, is planning to start its investigation to figure out what caused this horrible crash. And despite losing 6 community members just over 24 hours ago, the Tuscarawas Valley School District is planning to have the high school open today. They want to give students and faculty the chance to grieve together and make sure that no one has to mourn alone. We are going to be following this until 9 o'clock this morning and talking about the next steps for everyone involved. You can stream us on the go with the free ABC6 app.
It is 6:45 on your Wednesday morning. We are looking at one accident still active. We told you about this in the last 10 minutes or so. East Livingston Avenue at Lonsdale Road. That is the only accident that we have on the board. And zipping on out to the big picture, you can see that we are starting to see some slow traffic. That's going to be as folks are working their way from the east outer belt, shifting down to the south side. Just a little bit of slow traffic as you're approaching Alum Creek. No reports of an accident just yet, though. We're also seeing a little bit of red as you're working your way up in those 315 northbound lanes from 670. I want to shift on up here to Marysville just to check in with what we're looking at on 33 as you're working your way down from Union County this morning. Things are looking good with the usual 15-minute commute up to 67 miles per hour, so we are happy to see that. We're also looking good out there when it comes to folks heading in towards downtown Columbus. Still seeing light traffic in those 70 eastbound lanes right here by Mount Street. They've shifted the camera so we can see that skyline back there as things start to lighten up just a bit. 33, that other stretch that likes to give us problems, already starting to slow down as we get closer and closer to the 7 o'clock hour. We are starting to see some yellow and even red at this point, putting you behind about an extra 6 minutes or so. So bumping you up to a 15-minute commute as you're coming up from Canal Winchester. Let's go out to Mobile Track Mike and see if he has anything that we need to know about this morning as you're working your way out on the roadways.
Good morning, Katie. The Livingston and Lonsdale, that's the only accident that I have as well. That, of course, out on the east side. And outside of that, we're doing pretty well. I just came around the outer belt, getting on the west outer belt now from the Dublin area, 33-161, and actually getting a pretty good ride as we head down to I-70 this morning. Getting a little bit chilly out there this morning as you get underway, so get the car warmed up before you get going. But outside of that, we're looking pretty good so far on this commute. At least we're on dry roads and things looking good. Live and on your side. In Mobile Track, I'm Mike Kilburn.
In the football fever, a surprise in the latest college football playoff rankings. The Georgia Bulldogs now claiming the top spot ahead of our Buckeyes. OSU slipping to number 2 even after the beatdown they put on Sparty Saturday. That team up north is number 3. Florida State and Washington are rounding out the top 5. As for the next test for the Bucks, it's the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the final game at the Shoe this year. I cannot believe it's already the final game of the Shoe. Ohio State is 10-0 and searching for another national title. The Gophers are 5-5. They're just trying to get into a bowl situation.
The Buckeyes are hitting their stride, and a huge reason why is QB Kyle McCord getting hot. And he says Maserati Marvin Harrison has been a huge help.
Man, I mean, I always say just put in his area code and he's going to come down with it. And obviously he's an unreal player, generational talent. And, be sharing the field with him is an honor.
And if you're the betting type, Ohio State is favored by 28.5 points, so 4 touchdowns. If you like to focus on the enemy, that team up north plays Maryland at noon on Saturday. The football fever will get you ready with that battle with Minnesota. Join Clay and the Fever crew for the pregame show Saturday at 11 right here on ABC6. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. on the Big Ten Network, and then switch back at 11 for the post-game wrap-up. All right, final game at the Shoe. Buckaroo looking ahead to the weather for the weekend. What are you thinking?
Chilly.
Chilly?
Dry.
Dry.
Dry is always
lucked
good.
out this year.
Yeah, we really have.
No rain, no snow really on any of those days.
No, I mean, we've had a couple of sprinkles here and there, but I mean, nothing that was like a downpour or big issues for us. So take it.
Yeah, forgive the cliche, but I have to say it. I cannot believe it's the final game of the shoe already. Football season to me, it just whipped by this year. I can't believe we're getting closer to the end.
It has been going by very fast. And we were talking, too, because we were talking about Georgia, how Georgia's ranked number 1 ahead of us. And they've got Tennessee, Georgia Tech, and Alabama still left to play. So, I mean, our road's no easier taking on Michigan, but
they could drop a notch or two.
Sure.
Minnesota would love to knock us off, I'm sure, too. So well, they're going to try. They're going to try to see if they can beat us on Saturday. But great weather for the game, nice and chilly. For today and tomorrow, still mild. We're going to get into 64 today, 65 tomorrow. Rain is likely on Friday. Friday will be wet for all of us. We're all going to get some rain at some point. I bumped us up. 80% chance of rain